We bow in respect. We practice martial arts for peace and harmony. Aloha e malama pono, and thank you for joining us. That opening bow is in honor of Sifu Richard Bustillo, who was my primary teacher in Bruce Lee's art of Junfan Jikundo. With me is my student who has trained with me since high school, Sifu Nate Young. Today we're going to train in honor of Sifu Richard some of the techniques from Junfan Jikundo. Our first one is going to be the jab from the straight lead. And one of the key differences between how you jab in normal boxing versus how you learn how to jab in Junfan Jikundo is that the jab itself is meant to be a fight ender. This is something I've personally witnessed in real fights. One of my friends, Shihan Kevin Funakoshi in Shotokan Karate-Do, actually used only a jab to win a fight outside a nightclub in Waikiki, and I was there and saw him do it. And roughly in 4 jabs, the fight was completely over. Let's take a look at how we do the basic jab. Our hands are going to carry our feet. What that means is it's like I'm throwing a 60-pound frisbee, and that frisbee is going to take me outside of my present position into his position. So the concept would be, rather than testing the waters as you would to test for range in boxing, I'm looking to go literally through his defense in the attack. So let's take a look at that from the source material that Bruce Lee drew from. Bruce Lee's brother was an outstanding fencer, and the lessons that his brother taught him were not lost on him, as he was able to cultivate the concept of how to attack in fencing and apply it to his own art. So if I happen to have a fencing saber with me, I can illustrate this the way that I always do in every single class for beginners the first time they see it. I actually use a saber so that way they can understand the concept. So with a saber, the concept is that the tip of the weapon is going to go directly to the target. So from here, right? So if I'm doing this to you, boom. So in concept, you're already learning the application of the principle of closest weapon, closest target. So if I actually did have a saber in my hand, that's going to be the closest thing between me and you. So the moment I need to, I can deploy at range. You'll notice that Sifu Nate is echoing this movement with the empty hand motion that I'm doing with the weapon. All right? So in applying this with the empty hand, we have several options. If Nate's next to me, he can apply the vertical fist. He can apply a 3/4 turn fist. He can apply a normal jab with more rotation, like a twisting. Or he can apply the bu, right? Or you can also use the back of your hand as a visual obstruction. So he can mask your ability to see him by hitting you right in the nose and eyes with the back of his hand. So that's with the saber. Showing the application now without it. The idea is I'm using the whole entire body. So I'm opening up as if you would in archery, right? So as the shot comes in, my body's open and it's deployed. Now in fencing, this other hand would go back normally in fencing to counterbalance the weapon going forward. Without having a sword in my hand, that's an unnecessary motion. So it's better for me to keep that live hand close so that not only is it capable of defending the enemy's attack, but I can then follow with an additional attack. So now to show you how to apply this, I'm going to hold the pads for Sifu Nate.
Alright, so now we're going to put this on with the pads so we have some resistance. And we're going to try to practice that straight lead going out and making sure that our body turns at the same time as we're going. So it's not really a jab going backward, it's a jab leaning forward where we're putting weight into the lead foot, transferring the weight forward so we get that weight transfer of power. And the ball of the foot and the rear leg is going to kind of not fully turn out completely, but just a bit of a pivot would happen when the rear foot, so you can as you can see when my chest turns, that foot's naturally going to rotate a little bit. So you want that little bit of rotation on your back foot. I'll step back a bit so you can kind of see that back foot. See how it kind of moves out this way. Alright, so even in fencing, they really turn that back foot when they're doing like their lunge attacks. But for us, we want to be able to get back up and continue moving from there, so we don't want to open up too much. Plus, if it's a knife or you're fighting someone with a weapon, you're opening up that artery there, and that's going to be an easy target if you did miss with this shot. So you still want to have that in the Baizhang stance. We're keeping the groin protected with the lead foot 45 inward. On the ball, the foot in the back. Your left hand's going to be set up midline in the rear, and this one's about mid-body, so you can go high, mid, or low, either way, just like in a fencing stance. They have the position in the mid, so they can go up, they can go straight, they can go down. Everything starts from that midline. Okay, let's try it out with the pads. So, bring the high, is gonna hold the target from on the right. I'm gonna just strike this way. So first, we'll do it without stepping, just so you get the movement down on the turning of the body and getting the vertical fist in there, keeping this left hand up. Now this can be, like Professor Kai said, either blocking the midline to catch a punch, you can be continuing outside to catch it on the other side, or parrying across. But for now, just keep it up, and we're just gonna have that in mind though, okay? So the rear leg is a slightly pivot as you rotate and lean into the lead foot. Okay, so again, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Now I did it nice and easy that way, so just start a little bit just concentrating on some part of the movement first, just the rotation mostly. And then from there, now think about, if I want to get there as quickly as I possibly can, check to see if you're pulling back before throwing the punch. You want to, that's just like in fencing, it's going to go straight out. It's just going to move forward. So even with when I do add a step in, my hand is going to move a little bit before the foot. Okay, so before we put the step in though, now I'll try to concentrate on straight blasting without any preparatory movement of winding back. Just going to go straight to the target. Okay, so from here again, concentrate, still do the rotation, but now think about the lead hand just shooting straight out. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Nice. Now one other step you can take if you have a trained partner with you is what I like to do with Nate, which is I like to make sure that he gets all the way in and all the way out safely. It's too easy when you're working on the bag or working on the pads to start droning and just going 1, 2, 3. To keep it alive now, we're going to add another element. So right after he hits the pad, I try to hit him. Right after he hits the pad, I try to hit him. Nice. Now we're going to add movement to this. So in addition to him having to move in and out of range, he has to find me. So I'm moving around, I'm a little too far away, he's looking for me, boom. Okay, he's looking for me, boom. He's looking for me, boom. Now he has to watch out for the counterattack. I'm moving around, boom. I'm moving around, boom. I'm moving around, boom. Moving around, boom. Moving around, boom. Moving around, boom. Moving around. And yes, if you're watching carefully, I did step on his feet, but I'm Hawaiian and I have really big feet. So it's one of my strategies. So it's important to remember that, as Sifu Richard used to say, you have to build your Jikundo. It has to be built around you. I like to tell my students that in real life, there's no weight classes. So if you're blessed to be about the same height, weight, and body frame as Bruce Lee, like Sifu Nate is, you also have that agility, that flexibility, that speed, those attributes that come with that frame. Or you might be like me, and if you're a big guy, don't let your size make you slow. Because in real life, there's no weight classes and there's no second chances. So every once in a while, yeah, when we train with each other, I'll tag him. On the reverse, he might tag me. But the thing is, that's how you keep the sword sharp. You don't keep a weapon ready to roll unless you practice it that way. So it's too easy to become complacent in our training and make it where everything's only on a one-way flow. The beauty of having quality training partners, and every teacher has a teacher. There was no point ever that Sifu Richard did not give credit where credit is due to Guru Danny Santo and to Sifu Bustillo for sharing what they did with him, as well as to Grandmaster Kakoi Kenyete and all of his other teachers that gave him their art for him to help him create his art. So please, don't get sleepy, don't drone, keep it alive. So now Sifu Nate's gonna tell you a little bit about the footwork, so watch carefully and listen closely.
All right, so if I want to get out of line like what he was doing with the drills just now, and we're starting to be more active and apply the movement, now we have to talk about our feet, because before we're just moving the hands as well as the body, right? Just like going out this way. Now we're going to try add in the forward step or 45-degree step. Now this could be a simple attack or simple angle attack in JKD, SA, SAA, or SDA, simple direct attack, whichever you prefer. Okay, so from the hands, we're going to have the feet out here. Now I might just go straight in. If I go straight in, I might need to catch, or I may need to parry at the same time, or I'm going to pull it to the side of my face here. Now the other way would be going to the 45, which now I'm dodging. Now it's simple angled attack. I'm coming in on the 45, and now definitely I'm putting my hands on this side, because more likely the punch just missed me here, and I'd be ready to cover again like we were doing the active drill. So let's try that. And remember, foot doesn't move first. If I move the foot first and then the hand, I lost time there. I could have been there a lot faster. But I moved the hand just a little bit early, not punching all the way out and then stepping, but starting the punch out. As the foot lands, I'm going to be here, or even right before even. If I can land the punch slightly in the air before the foot steps, that's actually the best way to be, because you have more weight transfer there. You're projecting your whole body through it, and you're kind of diving at them with that punch, and you'll get there very quickly. Okay, so let's try that. So we're going to do that a little more active drill. I'm going to attack it, I'll get out of range, and I'm trying to move around, right? And you can experiment now with either blocking low, blocking high with the rear hand. So sometimes I'll use the lead hand to block, sometimes I'll use the rear hand to block. If it gets through my lead hand, definitely I got to use my rear hand, right?
So that you can see that, I'll give him a pattern. So he hits, I counterattack low. He hits, I counterattack midline. He hits, I counterattack overhand. He hits, I hit back straight. He hits, I counterattack backhand. He hits, I counterattack with a big right. He hits, I counterattack with a low body shot. All right, so that way you can practice the different responses after your intercept. So remember, your intercept is preemptive. You're not waiting for a guy my size to be I know jujitsu. If you wait too long and you get all in here, and now we're in a grappling range, and now I'm doing ground and pound on him, that's too long to wait. So instead, if you're looking at a size strength disadvantage, you want to be preemptive with this attack. The whole concept of this is you hit first and you hit very, very hard. And you don't fall asleep at the wheel, you're prepared with your defense. So again, the pattern that Nate will be executing, he's going to hit me first. I respond low. He hits me first. I respond midline. He hits me first. I respond high. He hits me first. I respond straight. He hits me first. I go overhand, big right. He hits me first. I go John Wayne. He has to cover it. He hits me first, and I go low body shot. All right, so you can drill that to help improve your game. We bow in respect. We practice martial arts for peace and harmony. We come in peace. We look for and see the good in others. We train in mutual respect. Aloha.
Aloha.